serve a mighty God. Mighty, 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 mighty. We serve a mighty God. Mighty, 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 mighty. Oluwa is mighty, oh. He might heal sickness in my body. We serve a mighty God. Mighty, 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 mighty. Do you want a physician? He will give you a prescription and tell you the dosage might be fed like a mustard seed mixed with praises. Just believe the master. No deal in a counterfeit disaster. Run away from phobia, man. Jesus is the only plan. Boy, we serve a mighty God. Mighty, 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 mighty. We serve a mighty God. Mighty, 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 mighty. Oluwa is mighty, oh. He might heal sickness in my body. We serve a mighty God. Mighty, 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 mighty. Supernatural healer. Mighty, mighty. Oluwa, look at you, Lord. Mighty, mighty. Supernatural healer. Mighty, mighty. Oluwa, look at you, Lord. However you are, take it to God and receive your healing. Roll with a superstar. Him said this is the bread of the children. We are roll with Rafa. Diseases must bow down at the mention of his holy name. The blood of Jesus intervention, boy. We serve a mighty God. Mighty, 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 mighty. We serve a mighty God. Mighty, 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 mighty. Oluwa is mighty, oh. He might heal sickness in my body. We serve a mighty God. Mighty, 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 mighty. Supernatural healer. Mighty, mighty. Oluwa, look at you, Lord. Mighty, mighty. Supernatural healer. Mighty, mighty. Oluwa, look at you, Lord. Heal me, Lord. Make me body feel like change I want. Oh, what a miracle worker. And we are all on to the word. Me know same love me bad. And him want us to survive. All we need is one touch so you and I can testify. Do you want a physician? He will give you a prescription and tell you the dosage might be fed like a mustard seed mixed with praises. Just believe the master. No deal in a counterfeit disaster. Turn away from phobia, man. Jesus is the only plan. Boy, we serve a mighty God. Mighty, 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 mighty.
Hey guys, and welcome out there. Welcome back to Sip and Chat here with your coach, Coach Michelle, and your own personal, yes, relationship coach. And we are here with our guest who's returning by demand. Okay, they begged for him to come back, so we're gonna jump into a really excited episode. But I just wanted to let you guys know that I am super super happy that you guys were so involved last week. I really look forward to you being involved again this week. Remember to actually share the live and tell a friend to jump on because we getting down and dirty in this story, right? So welcome back, Mr. Kamabash. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing very well. Thanks for having me.
I am happy to have you because the story can be completed without his side, right? And you guys like to hear Nigel's side. So Nigel, I just returned from Guyana today, and I must tell you, it was a really successful trip. I was able to attend the First Lady brunch. I met with the commissioner. We have some plans in place for the future for the company. And I brought all this good news back to you, and you were pretty excited, weren't you?
Oh, definitely. I'm the ultimate team player.
He is an awesome supporter. So, guys, just to give some backstories for you guys who weren't here last week. So, myself and Nigel have been together 28 years, and the way we met was not on the best circumstances. We were both married at the time, and we had an affair to be together. And so we were going through actually the learning curve for actually getting together. So it's 28 years later, and we are holding on tight to each other. What do you say?
You said we had an affair. Just let's go back there. And I, I don't know that I had an affair. I was just doing what I want to do. And
Okay, we start off to great.
and of course that's my take. That's my evaluation. And you have to know that Michelle always blamed herself for intervening into the relationship. But as far as I was concerned, if it wasn't her, it would be somebody else. Because I checked out. I checked out mentally, emotionally, sexually. There was no passion. There's nothing for me. I was out. And so it just so happened that I was blessed to meet Michelle at the time, and she was that person that I want to be with. I want to be with anyone else, and and from my perspective, I know Michelle have a different take. From my perspective, I was just doing what I want to do.
So he said, from my perspective, and he's absolutely right, because we have never shared the same thoughts about this whole thing, because I felt I did a sister wrong.
And I had no guilt.
And Nigel said, he have always said, if it wasn't you, it would be somebody else. That doesn't make me feel any better, right? So for everyone who's out there, as you guys listen to this story is not to be like, my son says, called gossipable. It's not about that. It's really to lend information to make sure you make better decisions, right? There's no regret here. All right. I have no regret. This had to be my story so I can talk to you guys. But you have to remember that if you have the opportunity to make a different decision, you probably should. Because as much as an affair can be torn and exciting, it comes with a lot of pain, a lot of aches and pain. And so we want to dive into that kind of stuff. We don't want to talk about just the hot and sweaty part, right? I know Nigel would like to talk about just that, but
No, I mean I'm speaking the truth as it happened, and I don't say it in a braggadocious way. I don't say it in a manner where if I had to do it all over again, I would do it the same way. I speak to how I saw it and how I behaved in. For instance, I have kids that are 24 days apart. And of course, I refer to them kindly as my ghetto twins because they're not the same mom. And we'll get into that a little more. Um, and of course, they're great kids. My son's Malik is a musician, and who's his manager? His sister, that's 24 days older. And for me, I don't celebrate my behavior that for that to come about. But the results, I won't give it up for the world. So it's easy for me to say if I had to do it all over again, given the results, I'll do the same thing. Because if I live in regret, I'll say, man, I wish these kids weren't born. And I look at them now and feel really proud of them. So I'm not celebrating the behavior, I'm celebrating the results.
so let's jump into that. But before we do so, let me go to a commercial break, and then we will talk about Nigel. Just declaring to you guys, he was checked out physically, mentally, but yet still, with his checkout, there comes a child. How checked out was he? Be careful of the men who said they checked out.
I didn't say physically.
Yeah, you did.
Oh,
If we were to play back, ladies, put in the chat if you heard physically, because he definitely go physically, mentally, emotionally. He was just listing all the checkouts that he made.
all right.
But in spite of his checking out, He checked back in.
I got a response to that. You want to do it now, or you want to do it after the break?
We do it after the break.
All right.
So we go to a break now, guys. And we come back and talk about the check it out.
The Manifesting the Relationship You Want conference was a resounding success. We are incredibly grateful to the businesses that made it possible. Small Business Bureau, promoting entrepreneurship and supporting small businesses nationwide. Chang's Global Incorporated, your project is our business. Guyana's leading construction company. Stride 592. Walk, run, move. Year-round fun walking or running events that promotes health and wellness to the people of Guyana. Sterling Products Limited. Treat yourself to a healthier frozen delight that doesn't compromise on taste. Glossy Media and Production Network Incorporated. We offer visual radio marketing services. Provide innovative sales and marketing strategies. Women's Haven Guyana. Make the switch to a healthier choice today. Guyana Police Force. Service and protection.
So let's continue the conversation. Mr. Cumberbatch said about maybe 5 minutes ago, he was based on Julianne. Thank you, Julianne, for keeping record, girl. I could always count on you. He said physically and sexually. For any woman right now dealing with a guy who have told you, me, she ain't got nothing doing. We only live in the same house, but nothing don't happen. Girl, don't fall for the okie doke. So, Mr. Cumberbatch, you said you was checked out physically, sexually. Did you have a Virgin Mary experience?
No. I think I could have phrased that a little better by saying I had moved out. I had physically moved out to the house, and I commit myself, or supposedly, or I should have, or my intention was commit to Michelle. But one day I went to the house to take care of business because I've been that guy that always take care of stuff financially, and she had an itch.
Begin an exciting adventure of self-discovery. This journal is your own special place to embark on a meaningful journey of exploring and understanding yourself. Get your own copy today. The Discovery of Who Am I? Whose Am I? I Am Journal. You can now find the OLM Journal at Just Because Shop, located Miss Topper Building at the corner of First and Albert Streets, Albertown. And Pure Elegas Beauty Salon, located at Rayon House of Fashion Building, 73 Rock Street between Camp and Wellington Street.
Yeah, strange as that may sound, that's how I felt because I was supposed to have moved on because I moved out, and physically I had committed myself to my girlfriend, and but I went back and like I said, there was a scratch that itched.
So, what do you think the percentage of men who go back to scratch itches?
I don't know, but I could speak from in general. When it comes to sex, is more physical than emotional. I would dare to say for women, it's probably the reverse. I notice I said probably the reverse. It's more emotional than physical. But the average guy could see a chick that is really hot and
Just want to smash.
and don't even know her from Adam and smash it. That's the average guy in general because it's more physical. That's why some men would argue and I know you're not a proponent of this, and I dare not be a proponent of this, that men are generally not meant to be monogamous because women always complain in general about men, how they can't keep this stuff in their pants. A whole not race, but how can a whole set of people, because it's because regardless of race, religion, how can the male species, how can they all have this in common? How can they all this have in common? And if there's something about nature and the creator that didn't instill that, maybe it is intended to be the aggressor, and maybe men misused it because men generally have really good
Okay.
animal instincts.
So just let's put that to rest real quick. Nigel is piggybacking on the fact that he could say the majority of men have committed some semblance of infidelity, and therefore it is innately their nature to do so. Well, let me debunk that, because God's word said, in order for you to stay from being sexually promiscuous, marry your own wife. So God knew if you took a wife, you didn't have a need to run out there. So no, that's a hard no. It's an excuse, absolutely, and it could be definitely a crutch for a man to use and say, and every man on the earth don't do that. Every guy is not doing that. There are men that don't. So don't make it seem like all of the
Was Dave
male race. I
was
don't.
David a man after God's own heart?
I can't hit you on the camera, right? I just want to make sure. Like, can I? Like,
I mean, if we go back to biblical times, since you
so if
interjected
no,
the
but
Bible.
but wait a minute. If you want to bring David, what was the actual transgressions that came from his actions? God never said, "I stopped loving you because of your action." He can separate the man from the behavior.
But how many great men in the
No, 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 no.
Bible
Let's
didn't
stay
have
on. Let's
several
stay on.
wives?
Let's stay on point. You're using David as an example. I'm saying the behavior that David participated in, he felt the consequences of it. It didn't go, and God was a part of that consequence. So don't make it seem like God passed him for his bad behavior, because he didn't.
Well, granted, all I was saying,
No, no, you're trying to bring my father into
you
this.
interjected the Bible, and I'm saying a lot of great men that God looked favorably before had many wives. But that's a different subject. But you know what? I don't know a guy. I don't know a guy that. Okay, let me rephrase that. Most men that cheat on their wife are doing it with a woman that willingly and that knowingly knows that she's doing it to another woman.
So I
Because
want to interject here,
because
ladies. On
how long can a man hide the fact that he has to go home? He can't spend the night. How long can he do that?
okay, Mr. Kababash.
Most men that
Whoa.
cheats on their wife is doing it
Could we
with
put
a
a pin?
woman that knowingly
Could we put a pin?
is conducive.
Sir, could we put a pin?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Now, he has a point. That's why we have our OLM mentorship club for queens, because we support that we would never let another sister bleed from our actions. So we are quite aware. Yes, when a man is actually having an affair, yes, there is a sister involved. However, the caveat is that a man could actually go through the process of lying his behind off to a woman who is just in need of that love so much that she believed. For instance, you told me you were done. Done. When I tell you that we had sexual relation, and 15 days later, he moved out, found a place, and he was done. Yet still, you went back.
Relationship is relationship, and sex is sex.
Or commitment. But you know what, guys? Here's the thing. I had no leg to stand on. Why I had no leg? Because I was involved in a relationship I had no business being involved in. That man was still a married man, as well as this woman was. I had no relationship, had no right in a relationship with him. And we got to understand the seed that we plant, we will reap the fruit of it. And that's exactly what I did. I reaped it real early because God did not break my heart to know that He did that. So the seed we plant, we do reap.
And you were fruitful.
So let's talk about it, ladies. Let me see what they say here. Somebody say, yeah, he correct. He has to pay for his consequence. Yes, he does. Yes, there is. So let me say this. When it comes to consequence, a lot of time we actually believe that, oh, we get away with stuff. But we forget that God says you will reap the fruits of your behavior up to 10 generations. So sometimes it's really sad as parents that we do things and we put it on our kids and we don't even think about it. I must tell you, being with Nigel was one of my classroom lessons. All our marriage, I've been in a classroom with you. And I would say, he's squinting. He's squinting. You know why he's squinting? He's like, where's she going with this? Where's she going with it? No, it has been a learning lesson through good times and bad times because I'm never, ever not learning. Like I am when it comes to the sponge.
No, you've been through the fire and you come out, that's good gold.
He thinks it's his job to do so. But Nigel, what do you think will be the thing that you feel was the reason for you stepping out other than, I just want to? You mean it's that frivolous? I just want to, with no actual real thought to how it impacts her?
There was an opportunity to have sex and feel good, and I took it.
So, you guys, you heard it here first, right? Understand, you guys hear me say that all the time. Actually willing participant and the opportunity presents itself. Of course, this opportunity wasn't an easy opportunity. He took his time. So for women who are with someone who happens to be married and he's telling you a whole lot of stuff, Nigel, you should tell them what they should do.
About what?
Don't believe the lies.
Well, no, this is very important. This is very important. I am relating stuff and information from a long time ago, and I'm not promoting what I'm going to say next. But I've always had a girlfriend. I don't remember, maybe since I was 12 years old. I've always had a girlfriend. I've never not had a girlfriend or never not been in a relationship. But if I was in a relationship then and I meet someone, that's the first thing I'm going to declare. I am in a relationship, but we got issues.
Yeah. Wait. That's a good one. Do you hear this lie? We got issues. Let me tell you something. Any man that wants you, sis, believe this. Any man that wants you, he is going to move heaven and earth to get you and to take you off the market. You see this man here?
You're talking about the past. I keep reiterating
you see him here? I was married and he was married. After we had sex, 15 days later, the man pack up and move, find a place to live. And all he could bang in is, you need a divorce, you need a divorce. He wasn't getting a divorce, but he wanted me off the market. He didn't want me to be claimed by anyone else. You guys got to be careful. I am telling you, I was fortunate because if Nigel didn't fall for me, I would have been another statistic, another tick on his list, because that's how he was moving.
But she laid it on, and the real thick.
Don't believe that. Don't bother with that nonsense. No.
It's true. But the next part of the game back then, and notice I said, and I'm using this as example so that you know that it is. I've never went after any woman in a sexual way, and like that's the main goal or that's the main achievement, and I didn't have to because I was already getting it from somewhere else. So I always come across as, man, this is a really good guy. He didn't really after me for any
Guys,
sexual.
we gotta go to a commercial and I come back to address what he just said because that could send a message to a woman that I don't want you to receive at all. And that message, I'm gonna tell you, let's go to a commercial break and I'll be back to
I'm
let
saying
you.
beware of that. That's what I'm saying. Beware of that.
Let's go to a commercial.
Small
Guys,
Business Bureau. The Small Business Bureau and the Ministry of Human Services and Social Security are offering a revolving fund loan for disabled persons. To apply, one must be registered with the Bureau and have a referral letter from the ministry. The loan has no interest and requires no collateral, with a maximum amount of $500,000. Clients can also apply for sponsorship to promote their products/services at events. The Bureau provides free business development coaching and training, including generic and specialized training. They also have a loan guarantee program with a 6% interest rate through GBTI or Republic Bank. Register with Small Business Bureau today.
Nigel was playing a player. Yeah, Nigel was a player. And I'm going to tell you guys what he said just now. A lot of times, so you might be dating someone and he's not putting pressure on you. And what Nigel would say is just plant a seed in your head, right? And I want to tell you something. If you're with someone and he's not on the up and up and he's getting it somewhere else, you need to let him go. You guys know I promote absolutely no cookie. And the reason I say no cookie because if you was to count on your fingers how many you give the cookie to, I guarantee you the reason you gave the cookie is because you thought he was the one and he has left you there and went on to someone else and you went through that again. And as you go through those body traumas, you start to get resentful. And when the right guy come, you wouldn't even smell him because guess what? You're so bitter from all the different guys. So the reason I say do not give your cookies is to save you from the body trauma and the emotional trauma that can come with giving your cookies to someone who don't deserve it and leave you high and dry. So Nigel,
What about that woman that felt that he's getting the cookies from somewhere else, and there's the pressure that she gonna lose this guy if she don't also give up the cookies?
so guess what? If he's getting the cookies from somewhere else and you fear you'll lose him, you will lose him. Because guess what? Just like he can get the cookie from somewhere but he's with you, you can get a cookie from somewhere else to the one he wants to be with.
What about if he has just the potential, but he's not getting
The
it?
potential, girl, don't go with nobody for potential. Potential to what? Potential to what?
Do you know that the men that get a lot of cookies, or do you know that a lot of females would easily give up to the cookies to the guy that's getting a lot of cookies more than faster than the guy that they feel that don't get any cookies at all?
So here again, I'm gonna tell you when he's right. He's right. I just saw a video that I wanted to actually pull up, and I didn't remember to actually mention this to Patrick. Now I remember what he was talking about. The video stated that a young lady says to her boyfriend, "Open your phone." And she looks through his phone and he ain't got no messages, no DMs. And she's like, why don't you got nobody DMing you? She said, DM somebody. I need to have competition. And that's a sick mentality in the culture that is trended right now. And if you fall for that, you will fall prey to what's going on because you cannot sustain all that constant badgering. You can't keep up with that. So yeah, there is a circumstance that that's going to be the case, but it doesn't have to be. For me, once a woman know who she is, she's going to decide what she will accept and what she won't accept. And not accepting that is it.
Okay.
I know you have your thoughts. Go ahead, share.
Based on what, you got a specific question?
No, I don't.
Oh, well, no, I express my thought as relates to there's a guy in Guyana. I don't know his name, I don't even know who he is. But if he announced right now that he's available and 100 women is going to show up. And then there's another guy that's uh, equally handsome, and he make the announcement, no one's going to show up.
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say the women that follow me are women of substance. I'm gonna say that.
And that's great. That's
I am
awesome.
gonna say every last one of you on here, we have might have been a challenge at one point, but we're not there no more. And if we are not even coming out to that process, I think the thoughts that you're sharing, right? I think it's really live and living in a lot of people's lives. But how many lives are devastated continually?
And granted, all I'm saying, there's that guy out there. I'm not saying that that guy is supposed to be celebrated. No, I'm not saying that guy is supposed to be celebrated. I'm saying be conscious of that guy out there, because that guy is out there.
I think the other day we were
that-
talking about
that-
nobody wants a virgin.
Uh,
Did you say nobody wants a guy that's a virgin?
no. They want a man with experience, and a man that's gonna smash it, and a guy that's gonna bring it.
And I'm gonna tell
a
you,
guy that's a virgin, he didn't know anything. He probably don't even know about the fact that he needs to first prepare that woman.
and I would doubt that, because I am gonna say,
Were you ready
young-
somewhere?
how did you find out?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Over a period of time. The first time I was lousy, but I get better by the number.
So I'm gonna say this for any woman that's a virgin, any guy that's a virgin. I know a couple of guys right now that are young, but they have their virginity, and I say I celebrate them because they're making conscious decisions not to just go. The typical guy from the Caribbean think manhood is defined by how much you smash.
But that's not the point that I was making. The point I'm making, the guy that is going to perform better sexually is the guy with experience.
Well, I mean that goes to for anybody, because
Right,
they,
but
but
that's-
wait. There is guys that cannot bring a woman to an orgasm, and they've been out there a long time. So
You could just imagine the guy that has no
no,
experience.
not if he is actually reading and getting an understanding for a woman's body,
Right.
because that is exactly what is needed, an understanding for a woman's body, and so many men are so oblivious of that.
And he might be overeducated, because he might believe that there's a specific approach, but every female is a different approach.
Yeah,
Even if it's slight.
yeah, but I'm telling you right now, there is a lot of men that have a litany of women, and they think certain things they do, women want that, and they don't. I am saying the young man who takes the time to reserve himself, learn about himself, is going to perform probably better than some of them old men. I'm telling you. I believe that.
Can't speak for them.
Guys, if you have any questions, put it in the chat, share the live, and I'm going to take a commercial break and come back.
Igloo sugar-free ice cream. Sugar-free ice cream.
Impossible that you're singing about ice cream without added sugar right now. I mean, how's that going to taste?
It's the best, most delicious I've ever tasted. The premium French vanilla flavor is so rich and velvety. Plus, my gym instructor approves. It's great for my weight loss.
So it's really delicious? Like you aren't kidding me? The children! No added sugar could be healthier for them. And Grandpa Glenn, with his diabetic condition. You mean he could finally enjoy desserts after all these years? I have to go. I have to get this.
Grab Igloo's sugar-free ice cream before she does.
So we're back. So guys, this banter that me and Nigel have here, this is actually how we are. His wife is one spectrum and he's another. And we really, at least I should say I have accepted my husband for who he is
She
and
makes
love
me
him.
better.
But sometimes my behavior don't fully, because I don't want to listen to no cussy music. I don't want to listen to no cussy movie, and he thinks I'm missing the world by not doing so. But hey,
No, I don't think you're missing a word. I just think by one curse word might be included in some dialogue, but there's a lot of depth in that dialogue. But I respect how you feel about that.
I'm just like twisting my necklace.
I respect how you feel about that.
You do?
Oh, definitely.
Completely.
Totally.
So the movie that you were trying to make me look at the other day that had the cursing.
I'm trying to make you. I can't make this woman do anything she don't want to do. That's shit by a sail. Nope.
Okay, guys. So we're back and we're talking about myself and my husband relationship and how we started and how we got here. And I'm gonna now jump to something that I know some women might have experienced, and that's being pregnant at the same time with another woman.
Ooh-wee.
Um, I don't wish that on anyone. I don't wish that on anyone. And that was a really big decision for me because, as I said, I was a married woman. That comes with shame because I'm married and I'm pregnant and I got a husband that's in jail. How did that happen? So I had to deal with that. But in addition to dealing with that, guys, I had my daughter Melissa, and she was having complication when I was giving birth to her, and my doctor wasn't available, and this doctor came in, and he was the rudest doctor, the meanest doctor, but he saved her life. And I said, if I ever have another child, I'm gonna have this doctor deliver my baby. So I knew the doctor I was going for when I got pregnant with my son. And so I went to that doctor. Whole and behold, is that the same? Is whole and behold? Lo and behold, this was the same doctor Nigel's wife was going to. So this one man have two women pregnant going to the same doctor. And guess what? He was an active participant. He took us both to the hospital, to the doctor, all our visits. So,
It was my money
what was your money?
in terms of my insurance and that kind of stuff.
Well, yes, he was covered. Well, he was married, so she was covered by him. But he was taking both of us to the doctor till the people at the hospital, the doctor's office, get a whiff, and they're like, "Oh!" And of course, they pick up for this wife, cause the poor wife, and I'm the, you know what they call girls who
But I set
text.
them straight, though. What did I do?
Well, he did. He went and he said, because the doctor told me, my doctor said I should leave the lady husband alone. Now, you guys know that is not ethical for him to get involved. And so Nigel told him that he wasn't with his wife and he was with me. And but do you guys see the trauma that's going through? I experienced a lot of trauma. And guess who caused it on herself? I did. Nigel, I don't think he experienced anything but the glory of, you see, he told you about his 24 days apart twins. He proudly says it all the time. They're not twins. They're not. They're not twins. They're two separate women children. So, Nigel, how did you really feel about having two women pregnant?
It happened. And in life, when something happens to me, I embrace it and find the best solution and deal with it. I don't run from it. I just handle it. I mean, it wasn't planned that way, but it happened, and I was willing to deal with it, whatever consequences. You know, you know when you make decisions, and decisions has consequences, but you can't run and hide. Both my kids and I dealt with it. You know,
That he did.
it's like when my son was born. Michelle wanted to give my son her last name, and I would not have any of that. All my kids have my last name. Hey,
Yeah, I was reading the comments. Why the average man always want to taste the cookies before making the final decision.
Well, in Ghana, there's a saying: "You want to buy pig in bag."
So I would tell you, if you do the research, this is not my research, this is the research. A man who actually don't get the cookie marry a woman fast if that's the woman he wants. He takes her off the market. I have spoken to guys lately that would tell you the woman they want, they taking her off the market. And that's when a man has say like, I don't want nobody else screwing wrong here. And so it's up to you to make that final decision if you want to give your body. But I'm going to tell you, if you have 5 on your finger, all 5 of them, when you give yourself, you will say, he's the one, and he wasn't. He's the one, and he wasn't. He's the one, and he wasn't. And he's the one, and none of them has. So what does that leave you with? It leaves you giving yourself when you doubt if you should have. And so whenever you doubt yourself, you don't have the confidence to make right decisions for yourself.
Do you think all women are great in bed?
I don't think all people, no person can be great. All could be great in bed. No, there's
So-
no absolute.
So the guy would be rolling the dice then.
No, I think that here's my opinion on what make actual people great in bed. I think is the communication of telling what your needs are and having it met. I think most times we go with a cookie cutter. This is the way it go. This is the way we go, and it doesn't work for every woman. So you can be missing the boat. There's somebody else who will be with a person and have a whole different experience. So somebody told me this. The pastor said it in the club the other night. One man's pies is another man meat. So I don't think there's a woman that cannot be sexually.
So you think all women can express themselves sexually and communicate what their needs are?
I think put in the right atmosphere, absolutely. I think anyone can.
But it takes the right man to balance that out then.
Absolutely.
So they might be a mismatch.
Yes, that's why you go through the vetting of the person you need. You see, so you see that mismatch, you give your body to the mismatch, and then there's another one you got to put behind it and say, oh, that's another one I'm not going to be with because of the mismatch.
So if he or she had come together and get married, and then there's a mismatch, then they stop.
So I'm going to say this. Let's go back to Eve and Adam. He didn't get to hit it and then get it.
He had no other woman around. He
gets his own jokes, right?
It's true. All Adam had was Eve.
Okay, you're absolutely right. All he had is Eve, but that was God's concept of how it should happen, right? I am saying there's more women going around with bitterness and trauma because they lay down and had sexual relationships with a man who promised.
So is the man responsible for that?
No, the both parties are responsible. That's why a woman have the right to actually vet and know who she's going with.
Right.
Before. Do you think?
Okay.
No. Do you think that when I got with you, I knew everything
about me or
yeah,
sexually?
what to expect? No, what to expect as relates to how you operate. I thought I got like.
No, I taught you most of the things you know.
No, he taught me everything I know. But I am saying, like, when me and Nigel get together, I thought I was the first woman Nigel ever had an affair with. I thought, oh my God, the cookie was so good that, yeah, right. Trust me, you plant the seed, Michelle pay tenfold, okay?
She's talking about 28 years ago. I'm here. I'm here. Okay, a woman vet a guy, right? And she decided to after a period of time, she decided to give him the cookies, but she made him wait. And then he got it, and I said, I don't want it anymore.
No, that's why she waited to marry her.
Okay.
For a guy like my husband used to be, he wouldn't. Right?
What?
He wouldn't wait.
I don't think there'll be a question of waiting or not waiting.
There's a lot of sipping supposed to be happening.
No, I don't think a question of waiting or not waiting. I think it will be something that's going to take a national progression and then happen at the right time. But I I've never met a woman that that was out to the question, or that was not something that eventually was going to happen. Never, not even one.
And you know why that is? It has to do with the man and the woman, right? So Nigel, the reason he took a different approach with me, because I would not have been the girl that would have gone towards him, because we weren't like that, right? You got to understand, your energy attract the same thing. Nigel showed a different guy to me. He was sweet, kind.
I am.
Um,
I'm still sweet and
yes, you
kind.
are. I'm not taking that away from you, but he was on performance mode, okay?
Right, because like you, Coach Michelle, would say, strategy.
Yes, right. He did work me over. But I don't want you to feel that kind of stuff, because you can imagine a married woman have affair with when her husband in jail and find herself pregnant, and then find out that the wife is pregnant. Oh my God. You will never ever know how that feel. It was horrible. Everything I experienced when it comes to that was the most horrible feeling I ever had in my whole entire life. I'm telling you, it is.
So men don't do anything that's put you in jail.
I can't. I can't. Oh my God. So, I don't even know how to come back for that. He's talking about my husband getting in jail. It's his fault. He going to jail, right? Okay. Guys, I mean, like, this whole conversation is about affairs, how it can impact. When we talk about the impact that an affair have on a woman, a man doesn't feel it out same way.
Oh, women have affairs on men and they feel it.
Have you ever had that feeling?
No, because I never put myself with a woman that is gonna do that.
Did you hear what he just said? Listen to what he just said. He never took a woman that would ever be that kind of woman. That's what he just said. But he was that kind of man.
Right, and that's the kind of point I try to make to you. When I met you, and that's why I say it was not a fear. I fell in love with you, and I know I wanted to be with you forever. So that was not an affair from my perspective. But I've met women while I was married or single that had their man. And
That's
as far as
true.
I'm concerned, if you could do that to him, that take care of you and do everything to you, what are you gonna do to me? You had a shot.
And he made a great point there, because a lot of times you women don't realize when men are with you, they're evaluating you. You might think you're doing a great thing by hooking up with him, and he's like, this heifer, I would never trust her. Because guess what? If she could do it to the man, I had a conversation. This is like a month ago. This guy told me he actually left his wife and was living with a woman. Hot, sexy, sexually, boom. And he said he never slept more than 4 hours a night. He said because he did not trust her, but he trusts his wife. He said he just went back home to his wife, and he said he showed his mom his the sleep pattern, 8 hours plus. So although he didn't trust that woman, he loved being with her, he did not feel safe enough to sleep through a night with her. Men are so funny.
Men are predictable. Men are basic. Men are difficult to understand. You just gotta listen to them.
What would you say to a woman that's having an affair right now?
Um, I, I don't.
Oh, come on.
What do I say with respect to what?
To her. What would you say for her to
Make a choice.
make a choice with what?
Either the person that you're having an affair with or who you're claim to be with. Make a choice.
He just told us that he was having an affair with women who had husbands, right? And so he knew he would never end up with none of them.
No.
So when I say, what would you tell a woman?
Just be cautious of that. I mean, you sending a certain message to this guy. But then some men that don't really matter to them.
And what would you think?
There's some men that would no would fight over. There's men that would fight over a woman.
But that's not the majority, right?
Granted, but I'm saying there's some. He might be that person. For me, that's an impossible thing that would never ever happen. Because I even when I was really young, and I'm telling you, a certain mindset is like your wife is my wife and my wife is my wife. That kind of mentality, and a lot of men have that mentality. A man is gonna go out and cheat, and then it's left up to the woman whether she wants to stay with him or not. But I promise you, if she does the same thing, he's out.
Do you guys hear this? And most times that is the case. However, I think there are cases where people could work out their relationship. It's not impossible. It's gonna take a different mindset because let's get straight. All of West Indian men, I say 90% of them, are built as alpha males. Alpha males are very prideful men. So it's very hard for them to succumb to the fact. But if a man is vested in his relationship and he feels that he could work it out, just like a woman could, I think it's very
Yeah,
possible.
that's possible.
I have
but there's some
couples
men.
right now.
There's some men that that's not possible.
Right, there
For,
are some.
for me, that's
It's impossible.
yeah, the earth is good. The world is gonna end because there's no one that's gonna come into my relationship and I know about it. Woman could be slick and get away with it, but I know about it. Now we just declare World War III,
And he is very good at war.
and I'm done. There's no repair. There's no nothing. No negotiation. No.
And that is standard. That's his standard. That's his non-negotiable. And that's why it's so important for you to have those for yourself. Why give yourself to a man that is not willing to die and fight and take care of you and love you and say, I'll wait for you because you're
That's why I don't
worthy.
ever give you the opportunity to step out or do anything.
Hello. Whoa. This girl here is stepping no way. I serve that one first and then this one. And that one up there, it will never, ever happening because I am more scared of him than man. I don't want to ever, ever, ever have to answer to God for that again.
See,
I learned my lesson.
so I'm married to her.
I learned my lesson. Guys,
That's my baby.
I don't know what's going on with my hair tonight, but oh my goodness. I want to say to you guys, like, again, this whole discussion about affairs, about relationships, is just actually just talking frankly about our relationship. And we have sometimes very different viewpoints. But that's what probably makes us so unique. Because I tell you what, I'd be like, no, no. And he'd be like, yeah. What's
Well,
the
very,
problem?
very importantly is, and I think I've said this, but I'll say it again. Everything that I've related, everything that I've said is to talk to about my experience in a very authentic and honest way. Is not to say that that's the kind of behavior I'm promoting. It is me saying be conscious of an old Nigel. Be conscious of an old Nigel because there's a lot of old Nigels around.
And okay, so let's ask you to be twofold. You be a Nigel and be a woman who's interacting with you.
Uh,
What would you tell her?
uh,
The old Nigel.
the old Nigel. Don't ever get in a discussion with me and anything with respect to morality and right or wrong. If you're not interested, walk away because I will convince you. That's the old Nigel. I forgot how to do that kind of stuff now. Um, I, because I'm gonna listen to you. I'm gonna hear your problems,
And I'm gonna use
and
if
I'm
it
gonna
gets you.
find solutions. Everything that he was not, I am gonna be. I will. I'm a great listener, and I would listen,
Wait. Let me
and I'll
correct
find
that.
solutions.
No, he's not a great listener. He's a great listener with a motive. There's a difference.
Well, that's why I'm
There's
paying
a guy,
attention.
okay. There's a guy that you think everything. That's why you have to give yourself time. Time will always reveal a person. They either get tired or their self gonna show eventually. But you have to give yourself. Also, ladies, not only vet him, but pay attention to his interaction with his family. What does that look like? That's really important to what kind of guy it is. Nigel, he's a secret agent. Uh, I am telling you, he's a secret agent. You probably wouldn't have gotten too much from him because he was consciously aware. Old Nigel would have caught you up. I am telling you, there's a lot of old Nigels walking around. And sis, you are so much worthy and so deserving of someone who's going to be present in your life to love you, protect you, and be with you in the long term. So if you have an affair, sis, I ain't judging you because coach just told you should walk that road. It's just a tough road to go through. And I'm saying you deserve more. So if you are there, I think you should evaluate if you should be there. I would say you shouldn't, but I want you to make that decision. And for my sis who's coming out of that, hey, kudos to you. And you can actually take yourself, learn yourself all over, and see that you deserve more and get more. Guys, if you ever want to take that journey of self love to find yourself, we have First Love Yourself in bookstores in Guyana. It's also in Felice boutique. We are gonna have it in Austin bookstore, and we are gonna have it at my sister-in-law's salon as well. So guys, you need to pick up your copy. It was really good chatting with you guys. Nigel, anything you want to say to the people? We got like 4 more minutes.
Well, I just want to share all my appreciation for the things that you guys do for me. And the reason I say for me, because anything you do for the lovely Coach Michelle, you're doing it for me. And I
You
just
see
want
his mouth? He's a sweet dog. Is he catch me?
don't talk about mouth. Ooh-wee.
Ah, Lord. You guys pray for me.
They know you're in good hands.
Yeah, I'm in good hands.
You're in good hands.
So my husband is a lot of things, but he's the guy that I am so in love with. Nigel Cumberbatch we have gone through ups and downs, and that's if you have a marriage that you are in a valley. Know that we have had our valleys. We decide to work to get to where we are, and God know I enjoy him every day.
No, we were in the valley, but she decides to climb up, and I follow her up. I follow, and I follow. So now we're on the mountaintop. But just because I'm following her.
I know he'd have a mouth on him, but he's talking truth from it, and he's right. I decided that I was going to do what I believe God wanted me to do because I wanted my marriage, and I did it. And my husband, I don't know that he followed, but I know the way I
Well,
love him.
I walk side by
Yeah,
side. I make sure that I keep
yeah,
up.
yeah. I think the way I loved him in spite of is one of the things that's impressed on his heart, and
Yeah, she wrote a poem that says, "The eyes I see you through." And it in essence, it means, or she was communicating, it doesn't matter anyone that sees you. The eyes I see you through, as guided by God, is a good thing. And, I was really flattered by that. When somebody believes in you, you want to do right. When somebody trusts you, you want to be trustworthy. uh, when someone is gonna let you fly, you're gonna make sure that you fly, but you're always gonna fly back in their arms. And here's your boy.
He's been a poetry now. Oh my goodness. Don't worry. I got you later.
We're gonna see who got who.
Oh my goodness, guys. It's always fun and sip and chat. I know we just kind of let it flow. I didn't like have a structured program because of the fact that I wanted us to talk freely and be honest and authentic so you guys can get the real deal. Know that coach is no perfect person, that and I wanted you guys to know that I fumbled, and that what I did doesn't define the whole rest of my life.
But
It's
I'm
because of it that
when you
I.
fumble, I'm always there to catch the ball. Though.
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! This man is too much.
I do.
Let me tell you something. For the husbands that are home, ladies, you ought to love your husband not because of what he does, but who he is as the person you fell in love with. I am committed to Nigel Cumberbatch. That's it. I don't love him for nothing else but because I committed to loving him. I'm going to love him. That's it. I can't say that he understood that the first time I said it, but he came to love that statement. I love you because I'm committed to loving you. And some marriages out there, you need to step up and just commit to loving, because we all have the times where we are not the way we ought to be, and we're just going through that journey. And if you are 100%, you're able to carry your marriage the rest of the way. It's when you're 50-50 that you struggle when things are low. So for the wife, girl, you need to join the club if you need support. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us. Here's your coach, Michelle, and her handsome husband. We say good night and see us next week on Sip and Chat at 8 p.m. your time. Love you.
Peace.
Begin an exciting adventure of self-discovery. This journal is your own special place to embark on a meaningful journey of exploring and understanding yourself. Get your own copy today. The Discovery of Who Am I? Whose am I? I am Journal. You can now find the OLM Journal at Just Because Shop, located Miss Topper Building at the corner of 1st and Albert Streets, Albertown. And Pure Elegance Beauty Salon, located at Rayon House of Fashion Building, 73 Rock Street between Camp and Wellington Street.